My name is Raihana Maqbool, and I have been working as a journalist in the conflicted region of Kashmir from the last 8 years. Most of the stories were like the underreported stories from the region of Kashmir. I am a Kashmiri. I was born here. When I see what was happening in Kashmir and what is currently happening, obviously you want to report that, you want to write that. You see a lot of conflict. You see a lot of human rights abuses taking place here in Kashmir. I wanted the world to know about those stories. Every day there are so many issues to write about. It's not only human rights. There are n number of issues because it's really a underdeveloped region. India calls itself one of the largest democracies of the world, but when we see what's really happening there, we see the fall of the democracy. Things have grown worse in Kashmir. You can't even raise your voice now. It's so difficult. Before 2019, we were even Kashmiris were able to hold protests and everything. They were able to even write. But journalism has changed from 2019. The officials, which before 2019, when you used to call the officials for official quotes or everything, obviously they used to give you quotes, but now they rarely talk to you. Every story carries a risk. There are safety issues. So when I say that even a small story I had done, even for a local newspaper, I would say I'm proud of that story. Whenever you go out of your home, you really don't know what's going to happen outside. What are you really going to see? That will you come back or not? I don't know whether I'll be stopped by the security forces at some place. So there's a lot of hard work that goes behind every story, working through internet shutdowns, and there have been shutdowns for 6 months. I did the story. It was on dams. There was a huge dam which was to be built in a village in Kashmir. It falls in far-flung area of Kashtwar. I traveled to that area, and the people there were like, you were the first journalists to come to our village. The hardest months of reporting, or hardest years of reporting in Kashmir for me, were after 2019. We had a lockdown for nearly 1 year in Kashmir. We didn't have internet facility for 6 months. We were given a small room in which we called as a media facilitation center. It was given by the government. There were just 3 or 4 desktops, and there were 300 to 400 journalists who would visit that media facilitation center every day to gain access to internet or to send stories. Media has been gagged too much, which was not there before. The journalists, normally they get arrested, they get questioned for their stories, they get questioned for their tweets as well. When I see that, oh yeah, one of my colleagues has been called by the police or the authorities for questioning, a sort of self-censorship comes into place, and you really think 10 times before doing a story. Sometimes you feel demotivated with what's happening in Kashmir. You really don't know whether you would want to continue journalism or not. But the thing of sort of social responsibility comes to you that no, I have been doing this thing from the last 8 years now. So why would I stop right here now? I need to move forward to tell the stories. For me, journalism is sort of drug addiction. So it grows every day. It's challenging, but then still you want to go. You see the risks, but still you want to go. My notes in my phones, they are filled with stories of people. I record every day, I write every day, and I want to tell those stories. Yes, that's one thing that keeps me going into the field every day, is that the stories which have not been told,